In this video, we're learning about different types of network. So, first off, what do we mean by a computer network? Well, a computer network is formed when we have two or more computers that are connected together. And that's a really important definition to remember, so it's probably worth saying to yourself now. Okay, have you got that? Great. The two different types of network that we need to know about are a LAN and a WAN. So we're going to learn what those terms mean. We're going to be able to hopefully give characteristics of them and give some common examples. So let's start off with a LAN. LAN stands for Local Area Network. Okay, Local Area Network. So just think for a moment about any devices that you might have in your own home. You might have a smartphone, desktop computer, laptop. Those devices can probably talk to each other within a single network. We're not talking about them connected to the internet or anything like that. We're just talking about your home for a moment, just the devices there. So you might have connected a laptop to a desktop computer to be able to play a video game with someone, and that would be working over a LAN. So we're talking about a small geographic area. And the second point, if you just think about the equipment you have for a moment, all this equipment, all this hardware is privately owned. So these are our two characteristics of a LAN, a small geographic area, and the equipment is privately owned. So yes, you can find them in people's homes, but also in school as well. If you just think about all of the computers within a school, they are all likely to be connected within one network. Hospitals too might have their own individual networks. So we're talking about a small geographic area where the hardware is privately owned. Well, what about a WAN? Let's look at a WAN. So a WAN stands for Wide Area Network. So the characteristics, as you probably guessed, are going to be slightly different, aren't they? So we're not talking about a small geographic area this time. What are we talking about? Yeah, a large geographic area. And I've put down here in the notes about being over a kilometre. But it might not be. It could be miles and miles and miles. It could be two different buildings that are fairly close together. But what's important here with a WAN is that with a WAN we connect multiple LANs together. This is essentially what we mean by a WAN, when we connect multiple LANs together. So we're talking about a large geographic area, network that might span different sites, for example. And then this time, yes, you can think about the internet, because in order to connect different LANs together, we're probably going to need a little bit of help. We're going to need help from BT or Virgin, the people who own all of the connections that enable us to connect LANs together. So this is going to involve having to pay some kind of fee. So if you think about your smartphone or an internet connection from home, you probably pay a company a certain amount of money in order to use their equipment, so you can connect your device to other devices all across the planet. Right? And in that case, your device is then part of a WAN, a wide area network. So yes, it is possible for your device to be part of a LAN and part of a WAN as well. So, quick recap on these characteristics. We're talking about a large geographic area. We're talking about different sites that are connected together, or different LANs that are connected together. And we're talking about having to pay some kind of fee in order to make use of someone else's equipment that connects all these networks together. So examples, as we've already mentioned, connecting your home or a school network to the internet. There could be two businesses, maybe one in London, one in Manchester, that need to communicate with each other. So when does a LAN actually become a WAN? Well, essentially, when we are connecting multiple LANs together. If you've got a bunch of computers and they are on a single site by themselves, not connected to any other computers on any other sites, that will be a LAN. But if you connect that LAN to another LAN somewhere else, then it becomes a WAN. So a few questions here to think about. What is meant by a computer network? Can you remember? It is when we have two or more computers that are connected together. What does LAN stand for? LAN. That's a local area network. And then WAN is your wide area network. Can you give me 2 characteristics of a LAN and 2 characteristics of a WAN? Think about a LAN for a moment. Okay, a LAN covers a small geographic area and the equipment is privately owned. So with a WAN, we're talking about a large geographic area where we make use of equipment owned by a third party, like BT or Virgin, and where we're connecting multiple LANs together. So the last question here is, what's the biggest WAN in the world? What do you think? I've mentioned it a few times already, did you spot? It's the internet, of course. If you think about all of the computers around the planet that are able to communicate with each other, that indeed is the biggest WAN in the world, the internet. So, hopefully by now you can define what's meant by a network. You know what LAN and WAN stand for. You can give characteristics of a LAN and a WAN, and you can give a few examples. If you can do that, well done.